Okay, so here we have sonnet number 17 by Shakespeare. And this is the last sonnet of what they call the Procreation series. And this one is interesting because it transitions into or from immortality through children to immortality through verse. And in the couplet, he says, "But were some child of yours alive that time, you would live twice," in it and in my rhyme. So he's incorporating these two ideas. The speaker is incorporating the idea of immortality through children and immortality through verse. And so he starts off and he says, in times to come, who's going to believe my verse or my poetry that someone as beautiful as you, with such high deserts, were alive, right? They wouldn't believe it. Though yet heaven knows is but as a tomb, which hides your life and shows not half your parts. So the verse is a tomb, metaphorically, that is only going to hide your life, and it can't show you completely. He says, if I could write the beauty of your eyes and in fresh numbers number all your graces, the age to come would say, this poet lies. Such heavenly touches ne'er touched earthly faces. So verse is not going to be enough. People are going to question it. They're going to say, there's no way that you were this beautiful. The poet is lying. So should my papers, this is the third quatrain, yellowed with their age, be scorned. So as time goes on and the papers are yellowed, people in the future are going to say, there's no way that you were this beautiful. Like old men of less truth than tongue, like older people who tell stories and exaggerate, and your true rights be termed a poet's rage or inspiration, and stretched meter of an antique song. And it's just poetic license, so to speak. Exaggeration. There's no way you would be viewed as that beautiful, right? It was just the poet, just me exaggerating. But if a child were alive that time, you would live twice, in it and in my rhyme. So he's sort of like the self-deprecating in some ways with regard to the poet being able to truly capture this addressee's beauty, and because of that, telling the addressee, hey, you need to have a child, which is the continuation of the theme of procreation that we see in sonnets 1 through 16 and now 1 through 17. But here the poet, the speaker, mentions immortality through verse, or at least the notion that you'll be alive in verse. But it won't be the same as if your beauty were in